Have women become more masculine? What about men? Have they become more feminine? Who's there to blame? Man or woman? Well, we'll get to find out by the end of this video. This topic has been on my mind for days and weeks, and I just couldn't resist but to make a video about it. And you may ask, what does this have to do with self-improvement and becoming the director of our own lives, D? It has everything to do with it. A lot of things in our society today are starting to go south, and I want us as women to wake up and open our eyes. I have promised to make sure that all the videos that I make are committed to help women become the director of their own lives and become their dream self. And as a woman of God, as someone who's genuinely concerned about this generation and where they're headed, be it woman, be it man, I really felt the need to speak up and make this video. And I already know I'm gonna get some hate by some women, maybe some men too, but facts are facts, and I genuinely do not have any intentions to trigger anybody but to spill some truth. I'm not taking sides, I'm not hating on men, I'm not hating on women by the following statements and opinions I will be sharing in this video. I just simply want men and women to come together and as a union to fix what's happening, to change what's happening, instead of hearing them saying things against each other on social media platforms, because I just can't take it anymore. So without further ado, let's watch some of these videos that I have handpicked and selected myself personally for you guys, so we can watch it together, go over some of the stuff, and say the things that needs to be said. And if you end up liking this video, make sure to subscribe and tag along the journey. Let's go.
In relationships, you make compromises. There are trade-offs that you make. You adjust your behavior.
Some guy's gonna be compromising when he dates you, for sure. But what are you gonna compromise for him? Nothing?
Yeah, obviously, I'll compromise.
But not
stuff.
going out.
If I want to go have fun with my girls, I'm going to go have fun with my girls.
I'm
I'm not going to go stay at home at 21 just because a man told me to. Why would I do that? I'm 21. Do I listen to my own dad and mom?
You
Not really.
should.
Not
You
really.
should.
So why am I going to go listen to another man? Just because I like him right now.
The guy asked, what are you willing to compromise in a relationship? And I completely agree with them. You know, the truth is, a lot of us want to be in a happy relationship. A lot of us want our partners to do certain things for us, but we're not willing to make the sacrifices. We're not willing to put in the effort that it takes to make a relationship work. You got to understand, at the end of the day, it takes two people to make a relationship work. I'm going to actually add another person to it. It takes three people to make a relationship work. You, your man, and God, okay? So she says, yeah, I'm willing to compromise certain things, but I'm not willing to stop going out to clubs with my friends every weekend. And my love, I have nothing against you, but the fact that you say I'm 21, I'm not going to sit at home, you're not ready for a committed relationship. So when men don't treat you like a partner they want to be with forever, or they don't look at it long term, don't get offended. Don't get hurt. You're basically saying I'm 21, so it's too soon for me to make any of these sacrifices. Therefore, it means you are really not ready for a serious relationship.
Like, you wouldn't cook for them, for example.
Yeah.
But you would what? Have sex with them.
Yeah.
What's really interesting to me is how we approach and view sex. People are so prepared to share what perhaps used to be like the most intimate thing that you could do with somebody. You'll fuck a guy, but the thought of cooking him dinner, that's where you draw the line. Like,
No,
this most intimate act where you're like naked in front of each other and he's inside of you physically.
Yeah.
But you draw the line, like, it's just interesting.
It is interesting. You're saying, I will not be cooking for a man. Why? Because it will make you a woman? You guys gotta understand, women were created on this earth, were brought on this earth by God to take care of other people while taking care of themselves, nourishing others around them. It's just, that is the feminine energy, is to receive, to nourish, to support, to be soft. But you know what the society has done to us? We've heard too many times people saying, you gotta be an independent woman. You gotta not rely on anybody. Well, that's sad that you can't rely on anybody. That's sad that you wouldn't want to even rely on your own man. That's not healthy. These things that people are showing you on social media, you gotta understand there was an agenda behind all of these things. Wake up. As a woman, as someone who was only 19 years old when she started her own entrepreneurship journey, where she started building her own business, I'm talking about myself. I'll tell you one thing. I was completely behind and supportive of being an independent woman, being a boss babe. I called myself one. I'm a boss babe. But it has done so much damage to my health, to my mental health, to my physical body, to my relationship, to my friendships. How are you willing to share something so important? I don't know why people are treating it like it's okay. And I don't blame you guys. You've been watching too much movies, thinking that real life should be just like movies. You see the girl sleeping with this guy and that guy in the movie, and you think that's normal. Well, guess what? They are trying to normalize it. And the more you do that, and the more sicknesses you cause, the more pharmaceutical industries, healthcare will make money. Have you thought of that? Put things into perspective. Sleeping with somebody is such an intimate thing to do. The only way I could think of why you're not willing to cook for a man, but you're willing to sleep with him, is the fact that you've been brainwashed into thinking that you cooking for a man makes you less than a woman that you are. And it makes you like a peasant or like a slave to men, because that's how these feminist people, these feminist movement try to, I guess, show it as. That, oh, women that take care of their husband and they're at home and they want to be a mom, that it's wrong, that there's something wrong with them. They're being forced into doing that. What if a woman naturally is inclined to do that, wants to do that? Okay, first of all, these videos are all from whatever podcast. You can find their videos on whatever clips on their YouTube channel. And when I was watching these videos, like, I was sad to see that most of the intelligent people on this podcast were mostly men. There were a few women, like there was really any woman that I heard on this podcast and I could agree with, or she made sense. I think as girls, I think as women, we should put our focus a little bit less on, do I look good? Like, should I wear this? Should I wear that? What color should I paint my, nails or get my nails done? And put it into focusing on our knowledge. Like, what have we learned? How much do you know about something? Have you mastered any skills? The skill of you just doing makeup is not enough. A good masculine man that you would want to take care of you would want their woman to also at least be a little intelligent. So girls, let's focus on the physical appearance and a little bit more focus on here and on here. There was this other podcast that I also came across called Fresh and Fit, but this guy, I believe his name is Myron. I hope I'm saying his name right. Again, I have nothing against him. I don't know. I don't want to, judge people based on who they are just by watching some videos online of them, because some people choose to not show their real self on social media platforms. I'm not saying I'm against him. I'm not saying I hate him or anything like that. No, but there's a lot of the things that he talks about that I completely disagree with. And I don't feel like, because of the huge influence that he has on men, he has over 1.5 million subscribers. I think he should be training men to do better than what he's teaching them to do. Here's an example.
When she says nothing, translation, everything, because I can't formulate my thoughts into coherent sentences and I want to argue with you, but I really hope you don't just ignore me, because if you do, I'm going to lose. So ignore them, gentlemen.
So ignore them, gentlemen. There's everything wrong with this advice. First of all, he's generalizing most women by saying that, oh, if a woman says nothing, that means everything, and you should ignore her because she doesn't know how to translate her emotions into words and communicate. Wrong. Do you know why wrong, Myron? And I hope you come across my video. It's because not all the time when a woman says nothing is her fault. Sometimes us women have came across men that were not able to understand us as human beings, our emotions, our words. Like, you could sometimes talk to a man in so many different ways, so many different wordings and, ways of expressing yourself, and they would still not understand your point. So at that point, the woman gets too tired of over-explaining herself. So next time when a man says, "What's up? What's going on?" we'll just say nothing, because we're too drained of explaining ourselves to you. So it takes two people to fix something. So in that case, the man could actually treat it differently than ignoring women. Is this the type of man you want men to be? You want men to ignore their woman? I thought women should be appreciated and loved and supported by their man and understood, just like us women try to do that for our men. Again, nothing against you. God bless you. I just think you can do better. I just think you can give better tips to men. If you teach men to treat women like this, they're going to treat both a good woman and a bad woman the same way. This is not how to go about it. As a man, you cannot be teaching men these things and expect women to become better. And I'm talking to us too, girls. Us too, ladies. If we want men to become better, we need to become better.
If I went on a date with a guy who's single and he's not fucking any other girls, then I would be like, well, why isn't he? Like, what's wrong with him? Obviously, there's been some flags going off for other girls to make them avoid the situation. So, I mean, like, I personally would be like more inclined to want to go on a date, at least a first date,
With a guy who's
the guy who's like
girl the night
normal, yeah,
before.
who's like hooking up with girls and I'm hooking up with guys. Like, I mean, I feel like that's dating in 2022. Like,
That's not dating in 2022. That's what some people, just like yourself, honey, are making it to be. How a man that has not had sex with anyone or doesn't want to have sex with anyone is less of a man. Just because he chooses to respect himself, his body, his soul, his mind, his spirit, and make sure that he keeps himself that way to come across to a good woman, the right person, that's wrong. Let's not forget that just not long ago, now it's becoming normalized for everybody to just sleeping with everybody and anybody in any day. But before, girls who would keep themselves for their ideal man in the future were always admired and they were always loved by a lot of people out there. So why is it that we see it wrong in men? As women, we say certain things like this, and then men out there who are actually not doing what most guys are doing out there, which is sleeping with this woman and that woman, to think to himself, what's wrong with me? This is how girls think about me, so then I should go and do the same. We should be more careful with the words we use. Seriously.
All right, guys, what to do when a girl is at your spot and doesn't want to smash? Two options. A, you can kick her out, which I've done that plenty of times. Or B, you can start working, like just leave the bedroom and start working, doing on your business, whatever it is. And what's going to happen is she's going to feel this pain of like losing your attention. And normally girls aren't used to that because very rarely do guys pull the opportunity of sex from a girl. So when you do it yourself, it's a game changer. So either A, she's going to come, reinitiate with you again, which you win, you can keep escalating. Or B, she's going to leave. Either way, you win. Peace.
Either way you win. You kicking a girl out of your apartment just because she doesn't want to smash with you is okay to do. Ladies and gentlemen. Like, I don't understand why you're teaching these things to guys and thinking that it's okay. And he's like, I've kicked out God. You can kick her out of your apartment just like I've done it. So you basically are teaching guys how to use girls. You're not teaching them how to be a good man for these women out there that have high morals, high integrity. Or you say that you should ignore her so then she would, like, basically you're teaching them how to manipulate women. Don't we already have enough manipulators out there?
The whole time I was seeing him, I was kind of just using it as a psychology experiment, and I didn't really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart. And it was fun.
So did you break his heart then?
Just a wee bit. I hope I did a little damage.
Wow. Okay. Why do you hope that you did a little damage?
Just, I like humbling men.
You like humbling men?
Yeah. It's like my pastime.
Your pastime is humbling men.
Mm-hmm.
You do work at a strip club, so do you humble men there?
No, I take their money.
So funny, even the people who are there listening to her are surprised and shocked. Again, who hurt you, my dear? I don't even know your name. I hope God gives you peace. I hope God gives you your healing that you need, because you need to start healing. Why would you want to hurt another human's being emotions? How cruel have we started to become as humans? What's going on? You hope you did some damage? Why would you want to damage another human? A child of God, why would you want to hurt him? What if he was a good guy? And now you damaged him and now he's going to go hurt more women. See, this is what I mean when we both as man and woman need to take responsibilities over our action. We do whatever we want and we think that there's not going to be any consequences. Next.
Men are typically expected to court women, approach women, ask them out on dates, maybe pick them up, pay for dates, make the first move, etc. What are women expected to do to build a relationship? So I'm talking about that initial stage. What are women expected to do?
Wait, so are we saying that like like he takes you out on a date? Like,
no, he's like, so like when you're like, let's say like the first date, like usually on a first date, like a guy picks you up, like he takes you there and he's like expected to pay, but like what are like you expected to do, kind of like in these like dating like scenarios?
Just be yourself.
Bring good conversation.
Be yourself. Like are you expected to impress him? Do you want to do a party trick? I don't know.
I feel like
Let's do a party trick. First of all, did you guys see how she paused? Because she couldn't comprehend the question. This is what I mean as women. We need to work more on what we learn on a day-to-day basis rather than how to do an eyeshadow, how to do a siren eyes tutorial and all those things. I love us women. I love doing all those things. As you can see, I've done my hair, I've gotten my makeup done, I've dressed up, I'm looking good. I do all those things too, but I also read, but I also pray, but I also learn continuously. The moment you stop learning is the moment you die. Is the moment you will no longer be growing as a person. And for you to ever think that you know enough is completely wrong. I want us as women to be empowering with our knowledge too. Just by you making money, it doesn't necessarily make you a more intelligent woman. There's a lot of lazy, not so intelligent people out there that are still making money. You're not special. Making money is not enough. What do you bring to the table is what he's asking you. And you say, just be yourself. So we expect men to do so much, but women to not do much and just be themselves, and that is enough? No, there is better answers to give. And I know that a woman that has been taught these things would have been able to answer that question better. Again, no hate on you, my love. No hate. I have no hate in my heart for anybody, not even people that maybe call themselves my enemies. Because that's what God says. Love your enemies, right? Do good to them that curse you. That's what he says. That's what I believe in. It's not enough for you to just be yourself. You need to say things like, I'm a woman of high integrity. I'm a woman of God. I would be supporting my partner along his journey. I will be there for him with money, without money. I'm going to stick it through the journey with him. I do not expect a finished product. I would allow my man to lead me and I would be a follower. I would be a woman of wisdom for him for whenever he needs to turn to me. That's what you bring to the table. This video is one of the videos that I highly dislike from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Let's go.
Ladies, uncomfortable truth. You are never going to be able to sexually satisfy your guy by yourself. Men cheat. It is what it is. We want different shapes, colors, and sizes. Men are only as faithful to their options. And for that guy out there that says, I'll never cheat, give him a blue check, $2 million in a Lamborghini. Let's see how faithful he'll be.
I do not agree with you. Do you know why? Because I'm sure there's men out there that have high morals, high integrity, high standards, and they are a man of God, and it will not be cheating on their woman because God says so. Because God says it's wrong. I'm a man and I want all shapes and colors, and it's okay for you to do that, but then you would yet want your woman to be loyal to you? That's not how it works. It's a two-sided relationship. This is what I mean when I say I do not agree with the things that he teaches men. You are literally teaching men and saying to them that it's okay for you to cheat on your woman. This is our nature. And no, you don't have any self-control. I believe I am a woman of high integrity. I have high standards because I know I can keep myself accountable to it. I know I bring a lot of support to my partner. I know I would help him with whatever he needs me. I know I would want to create an environment when my man would be happy, I would be happy, our future children would be happy. The main reason why I even wanted to get into entrepreneurship was because I wanted to be able to have enough money coming in every month without me having to work, and with my partner's money as well. Then we would live a good life with our kids and everything. and I would be able to be there and present for my kids, because I wouldn't want to be working when I have my kids. Because when I was growing up, my dad was working, my mom was working, and they were also separated, and I really felt the absence of my parents. There were times that I wanted them to be there for my maybe performances that I had or certain things, and they weren't able to because they were working. I did everything on my own when it came to my education. I had nobody at home helping me with a lot of the things that sometimes I needed, and I didn't want the same thing to happen to my kids. So no, I do not agree with you. I don't think this is how we're going to be able to create a unity within households between mom and dad.
The reason that the feminist movement had to happen is because for a really long time, there was just this huge inequality as far as like safety goes. So I think women are saying like, I need to feel safe. Like, so I need some power because these men are like making me feel unsafe. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we kind of needed that feminist.
Well, I think women are much less safe now than they were under the protection of a man who actually loved them. I think nowadays you have so many strong independent women out there that are like boss babes, and they're out there working, and they're walking alone late at night throughout major cities, and they don't have a man who's protecting them, and these women get assaulted, you know? Like, whereas back in the day, throughout traditional, what you might call patriarchal societies, women were accompanied by men oftentimes where they would go, because yes, the world is a brutal place. It always has been throughout all of human history. I would argue that women were oftentimes safer back then.
I agree with him. Women were safer back then because there was more men present in a family. I think having a man in your life is needed. Like, I think you cannot be supporting yourself and be trying to be independent for the rest of your life. You're just going to end up lonely and sad and depressed and miserable. And you wouldn't want that for yourself. So, of course, I agree with him. Honestly, I just think as women, we should just wake up more. You know, I'm not going to talk more on men because I'm not a man. So I understand women more. And I think there's definitely changes that we could do and that can be done to do better for ourselves and those good quality men that are out there. And my love, the feminist movement did not happen because of that. There's a lot more to it. Let's watch this video of a 65 years old woman who was part of the feminist movement as well, and see what she had to say about this.
She gets up and she says, Patrick, this is very hard for me to say this. And let me tell you why it's very hard. I said, what's that? She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. We do very well. I've made millions of dollars. My people and my work that work at the salon, they do very well for themselves. I drive a nice car. I have a nice house. I have money. I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. I need them. And I'm like, what? She's saying this in front of 2,000 people with her sister sitting right next to her. Wow. And now she's getting emotional. How many 65-year-old women do we have to hear saying that I marched with the feminist movement and I bought into the fact that men are the enemy? I've never been married. I'm alone and I'm miserable and I wish I would have never bought into that philosophy.
How many more women do we want to hear saying this? Seriously. If you don't know how the feminist movement started, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to tell you more about it. But if you don't trust me, go do your own research. I'm going to be putting some resources in the description that you can check out. There was this interview that I watched from Aaron Russo, who was a producer, a political advocate, and he actually, before he died in 2007, he had an interview with Alex Stars. And in this conversation, he basically mentioned Nick Rockefeller. And if you don't know who Nick Rockefeller is, I suggest you go and look him up and you read into him and see how much political powers he has had over the things that has happened in the past and how he has shifted and shaped our society today. One night they had a conversation and Nick Rockefeller asked Aaron, why do you think the feminist movement started? Why do you think this had to happen? And Aaron, of course, replied just like any of us would think that that's why it happened. He explained how it had to happen because women wanted to fight, for their rights, and there needed to be some equalities in terms of opportunities and things like that for women as well. But Nick Rockefeller told him is that you are a fool to think that that is the real truth. He said, knowing Rockefeller actually funded this campaign for feminist movement that was happening at the time because they wanted women to feel like they have these rights now, that they could go out there and work and get the woman in the working space so they could tax more people. At the time, they were only taxing about 50% of the population. But after this, guess what? Now that women are out there also working, they started taxing more people, which means more money in their pocket. And the second reason why they did this and or why it had to happen, so they could control the children at home. Therefore, they could control us more. They could have control more over the population. And now we can see that in our society today. There's more single mom out there. There is less of a presence of a man or a father in the household, and the absence has led into so many other things, like these boys being more feminine because they spend most of their time with their single mom and things like that, which we're going to get into more videos. But that's another thing that you want to keep in mind. And I will have the link to his interview in the description and you'll see. But no, my love, that's not why feminist movement started. The feminist movement started so they could also start taxing more people. We were definitely fooled into thinking that they wanted what's good for us, but no, it has done more damage to us as women than anybody else.
So for example, like the idea that it's good for a woman to be a stay-at-home wife and mother and to dedicate her time towards taking care of her husband and her kids, that is presented as undignified in today's world. It's presented as like oppression of women, right? Like for a woman to be in the home and to be a stay-at-home wife and mother, it's like you're losing your independence, you're losing your power. But the reality is you could either work for your husband if you guys want to have that kind of arrangement, or you could go and work for some other man.
I see what you're saying.
But women feel like
so
it's
that's
better.
Like a job for your husband is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
absolutely. It's an incredibly difficult job. I think people underestimate how difficult that it can be to be a stay-at-home wife and mother.
But it's a good job. It's a rewarding job.
It's the most important job
because
to have.
instead of sending your kids to daycare, you're taking care of them. Like
It's good, but feminism has psyoped women out of thinking that that's good.
Yes, feminism has really side up women into thinking that there is something wrong with that. That if a woman wants to stay home and take care of their kids and take care of their husband, there's something wrong with her and we should shame her. Let's wake up, woman. Let's wake up. It is crazy. Before I get into entrepreneurship, because I was in sales, you gotta understand, I was in sales, I was in a financial industry, I was a financial advisor and financial broker. As a woman in sales and as a woman in an industry that is mainly led by men, I had to use more of my masculine energy for me to lead a group of agents of 15 people, for me to be doing the conferences that I was doing, the workshops, the running, the run, working every day, the hustle mindset. You have to work every day, no rest, no pause. And that got me sick. And I have made a video about that if you haven't watched it yet as to why I quit my business. I've made a video about the hustle culture that you could go watch. So when I started getting more into my masculine energy, I started disliking baking, disliking cooking, and things like that. And you got to understand that that might be the reason why a lot of women out there think that they would want to work outside and be independent because they have more of their masculine energy that they're using, and instead of staying at home and taking care of the husband and things like that. Now, for women that also have a business that they can do from home and they can take care of the kids and they can take care of the husband and also run the business, nothing wrong with that. But for the women that have to go out there and work at a job and hustle so hard, I have respect for you, but you're destroying yourself, and it can destroy a lot of relationships as well.
What should women bring to the table? I think a big thing is peace. A lot of men, we go out into the world, especially if you're chasing after like a really successful guy. You know, a lot of men have stressful lives. We don't want our girlfriend to add to that stress.
Yes, we hear a lot of men on a lot of videos, they talk about peace and how they want their woman to bring peace for them. But a woman cannot bring a peace for you in a relationship if you're not leading her properly, if you're not being a good leader, if she's not clear about where is she being led to. So you got to keep that in mind as well. And I actually came across a good video about this that I would want to share. And I think he explained it perfectly. So I don't think I need to even say anything about this.
Every man wants peace from his woman. But a lot of men don't understand that peace is a byproduct of clarity. Like when your woman doesn't have clarity about the position she holds in your life, if she doesn't have clarity about the level of commitment that you have towards her, towards your family, she's gonna produce chaos. So if you want peace in your household, you gotta give clarity. And ladies, I hope you didn't cut this video off too soon, because for some of y'all, it doesn't matter how much clarity you have, chaos is your default. Because you were raised in chaotic households. You experienced chaotic relationships in the past. So when things are too peaceful, you purposely create chaos. And I'm not coming at you for doing that. I'm simply saying there comes a point where you have to take accountability and start to take the steps to change that.
Again, I cannot say anything more than what he just said about this. I think he explained it perfectly. So I'm going to stay out of this one. Another thing that's been very questioned for me on my mind, and we mentioned it in the beginning of this video, is why men are becoming more feminine. Why? Let's listen to this.
There's two reasons why men are feminized. We live in a femme-centric society. Men are being raised by women. When they're not at home, then they're in school being taught and raised by women in a world whereby everything is catered to women, whereby the messaging from the media is don't be toxically masculine. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show your feelings. They're like pushing all this like feminine energy onto men, and I don't think that is just a coincidence. I think the reason they're doing this is because men used to be a lot more masculine. They used to be a lot stronger. They used to be a lot more disagreeable. It's the men that go to war and it's the men that fight. So when tyranny comes, it's the men that go first. And so if you're able to control the men and you're able to feminize the men, then you're able to control society to a much greater extent.
She said it all. Like, this is one of the reasons why men are becoming more feminine. Like, the world is really becoming highly desirable for women, and men are becoming more feminized because they think that, oh, they need to be that way, they need to be soft in order for them to be liked, right? They think that, oh, if they don't really cry or things like that in front of you, that means that they don't have any emotions, that they don't know how to communicate their emotions. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a man to cry, but it definitely shouldn't be his, I guess, defense, one of his defense mechanisms. I think our men are becoming more softer and more women are becoming more masculine, and this whole thing, shifting and switching is going to really cause bigger issues in the long run. It is already making bigger issues. There's a lot of independent women out there that already have like anything they desire, and they still haven't found the man that they really want to be with. Their standards are right here, and they think that because they got themselves, they don't need no man, and they're going to be okay like that for the rest of their lives. But the truth is, just like how you heard it in the video, at the end of the day, when you're going to be getting old, you're going to wonder why you don't have really anybody by your side that's going to get old with you and going to grow old with you. I wish we could bring back the old times. Like, I wish the relationships used to be how they used to be. This is the last one and we're done. And I think this was one of my favorite videos, and I couldn't agree with it enough.
It's not clear to me if a lot of women want to build with a guy. I think most women want to move in. I don't mean that literally, but they don't build. A lot of women don't build, they move in. Like, I often hear women say that they're attracted to ambitious men. It's not clear to me if women are attracted to ambitious men or men who have already reaped the benefits of their ambition. Because there's plenty of ambitious men who are not particularly successful, who never made it or don't have a bunch of money. Like, a very ambitious homeless person is not likely to be seen as a suitable mate for women.
He's right. I think a lot of women these days are basically advertising how, or promoting how, as a woman, as a high value woman, you need to be, with also a man that's successful and is this and that. But like, what happened to the man and the woman that would build together? What happened to those relationships? For example, when you look at some of the celebrities, I'll name just one, like Tom Billio. If you don't know him, you can look into, his stuff. He does the YouTube videos you see on Impact Theory. He basically interviews a lot of the highly performers in the world, celebrities and things like that. And when he met his partner, he didn't have anything. As a matter of fact, her father didn't want to give his daughter to him because he didn't trust he could do it and he could become one day successful. But the wife did trusted him and knew that he's going to become successful and stuck around the journey with him. And they built this empire now with each other. So what has happened to those relationships? So like, why is it that we all want an end finished product? Be it being a man, being a woman. Why? You know, I know some of you men out there, you're successful, you're a good man, but you want a woman that already has all the qualities that you want come ready to you. Why wouldn't you want to be with a woman that you could also teach her some stuff? You could also shape her into becoming the woman of God that she is meant to become. Sometimes some women just need a little bit of help. And then you say, oh, there's no woman. The truth is some of us women that are actually good and have good hearts and are innocent out there, they just haven't been in the right environment. They just haven't been parented the right way. You're going to think of those things too, right? And what about us women? What do you think makes you entitled to everything that man owes after you're meeting him at the end of his peak of success? Basically, like he's already reaped all the rewards, he's already reaped the benefits of his ambition. Just like how this guy was talking. But as a woman that sticks around in the journey of the man and works through stuff with him and tries to build with him or tries to be supportive of him while building, now you basically earned your part or that portion of that success. So this is what I'm going to come to conclusion with. Let's really stop blaming each other. Let's take responsibility of our own mistakes and start making it right. If both men and women try to keep going this way, it's not going to end well. And it's already not doing well to begin with. It's not working. Everybody is unhappy with the other gender. So why not put a stop to it right now and start working on ourselves, improving ourselves, understanding both sides, understanding that we're both responsible for why things are the way they are right now, and change it together. That's what my message is. That's what I want you to take away from this video. I'm not trying to hate on anyone. I'm not trying to say that I know everything and I think everything I'm saying is right. No, but I have my own experiences knowing that this whole being a feminist person, it just doesn't really work for women. Let's be more careful with the type of beliefs that we choose for ourselves to believe in and, you know, listen to just anybody and everybody and not look deeper or dig deeper into where does those beliefs really come from. We cannot allow our life to just be controlled and managed and, I guess, influenced just by all these people out there, by the social media, by society, by the government, by la da 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 da. We can't just allow that. We have a mind of our own. We have a brain of our own to use it. We can use our own intelligence. Research. If somebody says, oh, well, this is where the feminist movement comes from, why don't you research into it and see if it's true, if it's real? Should you believe in it or not? Don't only look at the now either. Like, look into a long term. Would something really work long term for you? I love you lots. I know this video was a lot, but I really do hope that I brought out the message that I was trying to bring in the best way possible that I could. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment for me and let me know how you found this video and if you liked it or not. Until later, goodbye.